Hi folks, my name's Carly. I've been wearing headscarves, head wraps for around 10 years now. I have alopecia, so I lost my hair when I was 19. So I love wearing colourful head wraps as a way of keeping my head warm. And I used to be very frustrated with not finding the particular styles or fabrics or colours that I really wanted. And then I realised one day I could just go to my local material shop and buy them myself. I am not naturally crafty. I am not one of life's sewers, shall we say. So I want to show you a way that doesn't involve any sewing. And if you have a material shop near you, you can just go down there and buy a section of material that works for you. And this is how you can tie it onto your head in a way that actually looks pretty good, I think. So enjoy the tutorial. So to start off with, I am wearing this little kind of skull cap that I got from a great online company called Suburban Turban, but I think you can probably buy lots of skull caps from many places. You don't have to wear little caps under your scarves, but when it's colder, I really like to. Also, if you're new to tying scarves, this will stop you being worried that you've left like a gap that has a bit of your head peeking through. So a little skull cap can be a really good thing. So to make the scarf, and I say make very loosely, you're gonna see what I mean by that. I went to my local material shop and found a material I liked, which is a kind of stretchy cotton that is not too transparent. A bit of transparency is fine because you're going to layer it, but you don't want it too transparent, otherwise you will just see your head underneath. Although if you're wearing the skull cap underneath, that is not so much of an issue. But you want to have something with a little bit of stretch in it, and something that's soft and is not going to make your head feel uncomfortable. So I go into my local material shop, which I'm very lucky is literally just down the street from me, and I ask for a half a yard of this material. And if I just stand up quickly and show you, like, this is long, it is really long. But what you're going to do is you are going to use this material to make an infinity scarf. And so that's basically a loop of material that you're going to wind around your head. And using loops as headscarves is the easiest way to do headscarves. So here's a confession. I used to make these infinity scarves out of half a yard of material by sewing them, sewing them together. And then I got bored of sewing because I discovered that just tying a knot could be just as good and just as effective. If you are good with sewing and if you're a crafty person, Godspeed, go for it. I am terrible at sewing. So what I do is I fold the material, the half a yard, in half like this. And so let me show you. I'm going to hold it up. So these are the two halves, right? So this is what I used to sew to create the infinity scarf. But what I'm going to do here is I'm literally just going to knot it together like that. Literally tie one knot there and tie another knot here. And so you're basically just knotting what you would have sewed before. No fancy knots at all. You could double knot it just to be sure. And so then what you've created is a loop of material. And so you are going to place it on your head like it was hair. That's a really easy way to remember it. So let me show you what I mean by that. You're going to take this loop and place it on your head as if it was hair. So it's hanging down like that. And so because I have my cap underneath, I'm going to push my cap a little bit back so it's not peeking through. And so I'm going to line that up with my hairline, basically where my hair used to be. I'm very lucky because I fell off my bike as a kid and I have a little scar, a little hard scar right there on my hairline. So I always just feel for the scar. You may not be so lucky, but maybe you are. So I've lined it up like that. And then what I do is I gather it back as if I was tying a ponytail in hair. And then I'm going to turn around so you can see. I do that and I cross over like that. So I'm going to turn back around again. I then bring this up and I cross it over again. And I will do this again for you, don't worry, so you can see. And there you go. I'm just tucking that stuff in there because there's a little bit of looseness from the knots. And so I'm almost done. I've just got this hanging down. And so let me turn around again. I then tuck it all in like that. Takes a little bit of doing, but then you are left with that. And so you can see there's one of the knots there peeking out, so I'm gonna tuck that back in. So it's like 50% tying work, 50% folding work, and then 50% just going around and tucking in, making sure it all looks good, like that. So, sorry, my battery was just running low, I was just pressing it. The last thing I like to do is, I really like stretchy headbands in my favorite colors. So every time I go out to like a drugstore and I see one of these stretchy headbands, I always buy a new one. This green one is one of my favorites. So you could just leave it like this, but what you can also do is just put it on top like that. Line it all up like that. And then suddenly it looks way fancier. You could even layer it and put a second headband over like that. And then we're talking really fancy. And there you go. Let me show you that one more time. I'm gonna take my headbands off. I'm gonna pull it off like that. So remember, I have my skull cap underneath. I had the loop of material that I could have sewn, but I just tied into knots. I placed it on my head like that with the knots down here, or the seam down there. I lined it up with my hairline. I smoothed it down. I gathered it as if I was tying a ponytail. I then crossed over at the back. And I brought that loop up and crossed that again. I threw that back. I tucked everything in here. And then, I'll turn around again and show you. I gathered and tucked all of that loose bit there in, like that. And then, if I come back round to you, I can just spend a little time tucking in those knots, like that. If I want a little bit more height, I can just gently pull it up. That's the nice thing about this. It's kind of like, it's like Play-Doh or something. You can kind of massage it into the shape you want. And obviously you could use sponges perhaps, or other scarves underneath to layer up a bit of volume. But I find the more volume you have around your face, the better. I mean, that's what hair does, right? It creates that volume and complements a face. So I think that the little bit higher you can go, a little bit more full with your headscarves, the better. And my last touch here is to put on a headband. And of course you could take like a long band of material and actually tie it around your head, but I'm a lazy girl. So I'm not gonna do that. So there you go. And just put all your little final touches to it. Line everything up. Make sure everything's tucked in. See, I've got a little knot that's, you know, it looks good there, but I could also tuck it under. And there we go. That is the quickest, easiest way I know to tie a half yard of material from your local material store into a headscarf that looks pretty great. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any comments or anything else you'd like me to cover, please do leave me a comment. I do read every single one. And yep, subscribe so that you can see all the videos I'm making. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you. And please visit my website, and all of the products I've used as well will all be listed in the video information. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.